The senators behind me. I was worried about somebody shooting me in the back, so I decided I don't think anybody can get me from behind here. All right, let us call the meeting to order. We've got a lot of bills to take up, all of the House appropriations bills, and I've got one deficit bill to take up at the end. And I think I will start with the House appropriation bills. The first ones I will call up are the education bills. And as soon as he's finished consulting with Corbin, I will get, Senator Suber needs a packet. Has everybody got a packet of bills? Anybody doesn't, raise your hand besides Senator Suber. Anybody else need a packet? All right, Senator DeBar, if you need me to pass on you, I can. If you're ready, I'll turn it over to you for the education bills. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, if you would like, each of you subcommittee chairs, you can take up, I'll leave it up to you to take up the bills that you want to within your subcommittees in block. There may be some, certainly the bigger items you may want to pull aside. And of course, any member that has questions about any of the bills that are attempted to be brought up in block, feel free to let the subcommittee chair know so that they can pull that aside and explain that to you separately. Okay, Senator DeBar, you're recognized on House Bill 1387.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen of the committee, all of the education bills, the bills I'm taking up, are going to be LBR except for the teacher pay raise. So if you look at House Bill 1387, general ed programs, Senate versus LBR, we're increasing $48,770. Chickasaw interest, it's $3,614,000, which is LBR. MAEP, you can see Senate versus LBR, we're up $51.4 million for a total action of $51.420, $627. Vocational and technical education is LBR. For schools, for the blind and deaf, you can see Senate action is $75,000 above LBR, and that's also taking consideration of the teacher pay raise. So that is the explanation of 1387, Mr. Chairman. I'll yield for any questions.
Any questions on House Bill 1387? Seeing none, your motion.
Title sufficient, due pass.
Motion is title sufficient, due pass. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The bill be reported. Next, at 1388.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll take House Bill 1388 and 1390 up in block. That's my motion.
Motion, anybody want to hold any aside? If not, motion take up 1388 and 1390 in block. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. You're recognized, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Both these bills, the Educational TV, which is MPB, and the Library Commission, basically is LBR. Both of these will go to a conference, just like the education bill will, and we'll assess it from there. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll yield for any questions.
Any questions for Senator DeBar?
If there are none, title sufficient, due pass.
Motion on 1388 and 1390 is title sufficient, due pass. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Those bills will be reported. Thank you, Senator DeBar. Next is Senator Norwood.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to take up House Bill 1378, 1382, 83, 1384, 1385. I'd like to take them all up in block, Mr. Chairman.
You've heard the motion. Does anybody want to hold any of those bills aside? If not, Senator Wiggins, which bill would you like to pull aside?
1378 and 1384, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. 1378 and 1384. Anybody else want to hold any? If not, the motion would be to take up House Bills 1382, 83, 85 in block. Okay. Any discussion? Not, all in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Senator Norwood, do you want to explain 1378 first?
1378. Hold on 1 second.
While Senator Norwood's looking at 1378, if there are no questions on the ones that he's brought up in block, 1382, 83, and 85, his motion would be title sufficient do pass on those. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Back to 1378, Senator Norwood.
Okay, the, it's what, 25, and travel with travel expenses, DAs, assistant DAs, and criminal investment torch claim. Let's see. Let me see. But that's this. That's the same.
That's it. That's right, that's your bill that you're, the district attorneys, that's right, there's, that's right.
Okay, the 25051, 231, that's the same action, Senate action is the same as LBR's action. They have special funds of 713,062 for a total appropriation of 25,764, 293, which is the Senate action and the LBR recommendation is the same.
Okay, question. Senator Wiggins, do you have a question about that bill?
Yes, 1378, Mr. Chairman. So, in section 5, there, it's mentioned the 6th, one legal assistant for 6th Circuit Court District. My question first is, which is the 6th Circuit Court District?
Hold on just a moment.
And then, Mr. Chairman, while you're looking at that, my question would be, why is the 6th Circuit Court District the only one out of 19 or 22 Circuit Court districts that are getting a legal assistant at?
I know in years past they've had some other ones, Senator Wiggins, but let me see if I can get the budget analyst to get us that information on the 6th and also on that issue. By the way, I will explain this. All of the general fund bills that are before you, in fact, I should have done that in the early bills, the motion is going to be title sufficient to pass strike all because they all have a reverse repealer, if nothing else. They're actually fairly similar to House language, but they all have a reverse repealer on there. So all of these general fund bills will go to conference. There are a few special fund bills that we're going to cover that I've met with the subcommittee chairs on, and they've met with their counterparts, and I've met with Representative Reed, Chairman of the House Appropriations Committee. There are a few that we've got on final passage, and I would ask subcommittee chairs to identify those as they get to them. Looks like the 6th is down in southwest Mississippi. That's going to be the Adams, Franklin, what would that be? Adams, Franklin, Wilkinson, and Walthall. Thank you, Senator Witherspoon.
And Mr. Chairman, do we know how that there is a enacting legislation that talks about legal assistance that assigns a certain number of legal assistants per circuit court district? So my question is, why is this unique to that, or does this correspond with that enacting legislation for that circuit court district?
I can't answer that question, Senator Wiggins, but I'm happy with Senator Norwood. We'll discuss that with you. Again, this has a reverse repealer, and any others that you have a question about, happy to answer those questions on Mr.
Chairman, I would just advise that that section has been in there. It's something that the the analyst will look at, and we will get an answer.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Senator Wiggins. Any other questions on House Bill 1378? If not,
Title sufficient to pass.
thank you, Senator Norwood. Title sufficient to pass strike all. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. That bill will be reported now. House Bill 1384.
1384, the LBR recommendation is 149,338. Senate action is 149,338. The total recommendation, 149,338.
Thank you,
House
Senator
sufficient to
Norwood.
pass.
Senator Wiggins, you have a question about 1384?
Thank you, Senator. Does this bill cover drug court, funding for drug court judges and special judges? And when I say special judges, I mean, I guess where judges have to take part, where there's conflicts and stuff?
This should be all of the operations, including those, and as it relates to the drug courts and other, if there are diversion courts, those would fall under this,
Thank you,
under this-
Mr. Chairman.
under this budget.
I just found section 24, the amount there to defray the costs of the drug court program. That's all, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Title sufficient to pass, Mr. President.
If, yeah, the motion is title sufficient to pass strike all. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. That bill will be reported. Thank you, Senator Norwood. Next, I will go to Senator Blackwell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move that we take up 1398, 1399 in block.
Motion is to take up 1398, 99, and you say 1400 also?
No, sir.
Okay, 1398 and 1399 in block. Any questions, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. You recognize, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Chairman, Senate action is consistent with LBR on the Department of Human Services as well as Child Protective Services. Yield for any questions.
Any questions of Senator Blackwell on 1398 and 1399? Not your motion.
Move title sufficient, do pass, committee strike all.
Motion, title sufficient, do pass, strike all. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Those two bills will be reported. Now you recognize for House Bill 1400.
1400, we do have a reduction in LBR in the Senate action of over 16 million. Part of that is just moving some money around from the general fund to the capital fund. But all in all, it's the same money moving around, so they'll be level funded. If no questions, or I'll yield for questions.
Any questions on Medicaid bill? If not, his motion,
Title sufficient, do pass, committee strike all.
title sufficient, do pass, strike all. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The bill will be reported. Senator Michelle, I'm sorry I passed over you, but I'll return back to you, Subcommittee 7, and recognize you for 1377, 79, and 80.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to go to 1377. That's the Real Estate Commission budget. It's a special fund agency, and the Senate position is $22,659 over the LBR, and that consists mostly of increases from ITS and health insurance increased costs. I move title sufficient, do pass, strike all. House Bill 1377.
This bill,
Excuse me, and I'll also would like to include that the appraisal and licensure. I'm sorry, it's the same bill. I don't need to bring up a block there in the same bill. The position on the real estate appraiser and licensure certification is an increase in $36,629, and that is a position reallocation where we're moving a deputy director to an administrative officer. The agency has had difficulty filling that position. and this will allow them to hopefully find a qualified candidate for that. So now I move title sufficient do pass of strike all House Bill 1377.
Thank you, Senator Michelle. This is one of the bills that does not have a reverse repealer in it. It's one that I think we've agreed to the terms, the financial terms. If there are any questions, Senator Michelle will answer. If not, your motion, Senator.
Title sufficient do pass, strike all House Bill 1377.
Title sufficient, do pass, strike all. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The bill be reported. Now 1379.
1379 is the Department of Insurance budget. It's $10,926,727. That's at LBR. There is a reduction over, the LBR amount is a reduction over the previous years of about $276,000, and that's mostly from not filling vacant positions. Be glad to yield any questions. I move title sufficient do pass, title strike all House Bill 1379.
Any questions? If not, the motion is title sufficient, do pass, strike all. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The bill be reported. Now 1380.
1380 is the State Fire Academy. Funding is $4,829,708. That's at LBR. This is a very small decrease. Be glad to yield any questions on that particular budget. Move title sufficient, do pass, strike all House Bill 1380.
Any questions? If not, the motion is title sufficient, do pass, strike all. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. That bill be reported. Thank you, Senator Michelle.
Thank you.
Next, we have Senator Hill, and I think she's not here, so I will take Senator Hill's bills. First is House Bill, actually the only bill that she's got in this packet is House Bill 1401. This is the State Health Department, Local Governments and Rural Water, and also the Burn Care Fund. You'll note from your packet, Health Department is Senate action is the same as the House, which is at LBR. That's $426,340,590. The Local Governments and Rural Water is at $34,342,704, and the Burn Care Fund is at $1 million. No other changes to this bill, although I will say I have talked with Dr. Dobbs about some possible revisions and things that we'll look at as we start getting closer and get final budget numbers, and those should be forthcoming soon. I'll yield for any questions. If there are none, the motion is title sufficient, do pass, strike all. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The bill be reported. Next is Senator Moran. Thanks.
Okay. I'd ask that we take the following bills up in block. House Bill 186, 189, House Bill 1386, 1389, 1394, and 412. I'd like to take those up in block, please.
You've heard the motion. Anybody want to pull any of those bills aside? Not the motions. The motion is to take up 1386, 89, 94, and 1412 in block. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Senator Moran, you're recognized.
As you can see here, the Senate action and LBR is consistent with each other. So we'll go with LBR on this. If there's any questions, I'll entertain any questions at this time. If not, I move title sufficient, do pass, strike all.
Motion is title sufficient, do pass, strike all. Any questions? Not. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Those bills be reported. Thank you, Senator Moran. Next, I will defer to Senator Branning, 1405, 1406, 7, 8, 9, and 13.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 1405 is the Pat Harrison Waterway District. The Senate action on this is $5,709,112, and the difference that you see here is just a removal of some vacant pens. There are no questions on this budget. I move title sufficient, do pass, strike all.
Thank you, Senator. This also is one, I think you've got a few that do not have reverse repealers that we've agreed to the language on the House.
That's correct. This one does not have a reverse repealer.
Yeah, so these will be, when we get them off the floor, these will be on final passage. Any questions of House Bill 1405? If not, her motion is title sufficient to pass, strike all. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. That bill be reported. Senator Branning.
House Bill 1406 is Pearl River Valley Water Supply District. The Senate action is $20,237,250. There was some restoration of cuts over LBR, and this budget does not have a reverse repealer. We were able to answer all the questions between the two chambers. If there are no questions, the motion is title sufficient to pass, strike all.
You've heard the motion. Any questions? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. That bill be reported. Senator Branning.
House Bill 1407, the Gulfport State Authority. Senate action $55,704,360. The difference that you see here is restoration of cuts, and there were some equipment and vehicles that this particular agency needed. So if there are no questions on this, I move title sufficient to pass, strike all.
Any questions? Motion title sufficient to pass, strike all. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. That bill be reported.
House Bill 1408 is the Tombigbee River Valley Water Management District. Senate action is $8,644,060, and the amount that you see over LBR are some deleted pins that were vacant. And this budget is going to conference just because I had some questions about the agency. I think it's just because this is my first time to handle it, and I'm trying to learn. If there are no questions, I move title sufficient to pass, strike all.
Any questions? Motion is title sufficient to pass, strike all. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Bill be reported.
House Bill 1409, Yellow Creek State Inland Port Authority. The Senate action is $13,168,348. Within this agency, there were $15,000 in pay raises, and then the rest of the increase that you see were some upgrades that were requested to the rail loading facility. I looked at this. I thought it was very important for this agency. So that would be the Senate action on this budget. If there are no questions, and there's no reverse repealer on this one. No questions, I move title sufficient to pass, strike all.
Any questions? Not, the motion is title sufficient to pass, strike all. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. That bill be reported. Next is 1413.
This is the Mississippi Department of Transportation. The Senate action, $1,065,180,298. This was actually LBR and the same action that the House did adopt. There is a reverse repealer here so that we can continue to work on this budget. So it is going to conference. If there are no questions, I move title sufficient to pass, strike all.
Any questions on the DOT budget? If not, the motion is title sufficient to pass, strike all. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. That bill will be reported. Also, next we'll move to Senator Robert Jackson, 1366 through 1374.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to take up these in block. House Bill 1366, House Bill 1367, House Bill 1368, House Bill 1369, 1370, 1371, 1372, 1373, 1374, in block.
Any members want to pull aside or hold aside any of these measures, 1366 through 1374? Seeing none, the motion is to take them up in block. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Senator, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senate action on all these bills amounts to $10,970,560. No questions. I move title sufficient to pass, strike all.
Thank you. And I will remind the members, these are all, and I met with Senator Jackson, and these are all final. They do not have reverse repealers in them. So again, assuming the House takes them up, these would all be final passage, all special fund agencies. Any questions about the bills? If not, his motion is title sufficient to pass, strike all. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Those bills will be reported. Next, I will go to Senator Turner Ford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I request to take up House Bill 1365, 1375, 1376, 1396, 1397, 1402, and 1411, all House bills in block.
The Senator, could I get you to pull aside 1396 just for sake of putting all the other special fund, let me see, and 97 too, excuse me, 96 and 97, and take up the rest in block.
And should I also add 1411? That one has a reverse repeal also, I think.
Yes, I was going to say 1365, 75, 76, 02, and 11. Are you okay in taking those up in block?
I am, if you could read the numbers one more time. we'll make
Okay.
sure.
Y'all have heard the 5 bills that the senator will take up in block. Any questions, or does anyone want to pull any of those off to discuss separately? If not, all in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Senator, you're recognized for those 5 bills.
Thank you. The House Bill 1365 is the Athletic Commission. Senate action is at the same as LBR. There is no reverse repealer. Engineers and Surveyors Board, registration, Board of Registration for Professional Engineers and Surveyors. Senate action is $60,720 above LBR. There is no reverse repealer. Mississippi Auctioneers Commission, that's House Bill 1376. Senate action is $44 above LBR. I think that's due to some minor costs with ITS. House Bill 1396, Public Service Commission. Senate action is at LBR. There is no reverse repealer. And then going over to House Bill 1402, Board of Registration for Foresters. Senate action is $2,364 above LBR, no reverse repealer. If there are no questions, I move title sufficient, do pass.
Any questions? If not, the motion, title sufficient, do pass. Strike all in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Now, Senator Turner Ford, we'll return to 1396.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 1396 is the Public Service Commission, no-call telephone solicitation. The Senate action is at LBR, but there is a reverse repealer. Total budget, $66,372. I move, if there are no questions,
Yeah, the motion, I'm sorry, what was the amount, Senator Turner Ford?
$66,372.
That's on the no-call portion?
It
and
is.
The PSC portion was the $4,587,000. Okay, any questions about House Bill 1396? If not, the motion is title sufficient to pass. Strike all. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Now, House Bill 1397, Senator.
Thank you. House Bill 1397 is the Public Utility Staff. Senate action is $375,000 above LBR, and I believe that that is an amount that the agency is requesting to keep for fees that they collect for licensing, and there is a reverse repealer. If there are no questions, I move title sufficient do pass.
Yeah, question, Senator Polk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator, who is the director of that agency?
Former Senator Sally Doty.
And are we sure we want to put her in charge of that much money?
I think so. And let me just say, she explained her request thoroughly to the subcommittee. I didn't have any questions, nor did any of the other members, so I would recommend that we do honor her request.
Thank you for being so diligent.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Senator
yes, we
Polk
do.
and Senator Turner Ford. Any other questions on the bill? I believe, Senator, do you have a motion on that?
I do, Mr. Chairman. I move title sufficient do pass.
The motion is title sufficient, do pass. Strike all. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Now I'll turn to Senator Sampson Jackson.
I have one more. I
Oh, I'm
think.
sorry.
I'm sorry. It's House Bill 1411, the
thought you-
Veterans Home Purchase Board.
I think I had covered that in the block, at least that's what I called out when I read it, but maybe you didn't cover it in your explanation.
I didn't. I don't think I mentioned that one since it had a reverse repealer.
Okay. Did we call that as out reported, Christie, or 1411? Okay. Why don't you just go ahead and explain it in case there are any questions, Senator Turner Ford.
Thank you. I apologize for any confusion. The amount is $87,576 above LBR, and there is a reverse repealer. I move title sufficient do pass if there are no questions.
Actually, Senator, I don't think that one does have a reverse repealer. Veterans Home Purchase Board. Would you like to put a reverse repealer in that?
No, I may have just Let me just look at my notes here for just a moment. Reverse, repeal, or remove, my apologies. So I move title sufficient, do pass. No reverse repealer.
Well, and I will say this, if any questions of any members, they can let us know now, and otherwise, Senator, if there are any questions that you've got or anything we need to discuss before we take it up on the floor tomorrow, let's make sure you get with me so we can clarify that before we pass it through our chamber tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions on 1411? And if we didn't cover it now, we'll cover it. If we didn't cover it then, we'll cover it now. The motion would be title sufficient, do pass, strike all. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you, Senator. Now we'll move to Senator Sampson Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. President. All the subcommittee 15 bills is at LBR, and also each one of them has a repeal in them. So if no objection, I motion that we take them up in a block.
Okay, that'll be 1392, 1393, 1395, 1403, and 1404. All five or all, yeah, 5 bills?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody would like to pull any of those bills aside for discussion? If not, the motion is to take them up in block. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Senator Jackson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 1395, Department of Environmental Quality. Senate action is $259,053,695, same as LBR. Wildlife Fishing Parks, House Bill 1393 is $71,997,135, same as LBR. House Bill 1395, Oil and Gas Board, Senate action $2,195,399, same as LBR. House Bill 1403, Forest Commission, Senate action $25,707,837. House Bill 1404, Soil and Water Conservation, Senate action $8,264,705. And Mr. Chairman, if no question, I move title sufficient do pass, strike off in a block.
Okay. Any questions on any of those measures? If not, the motion is title sufficient to pass, strike all. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Those bills will be reported. Thank you, Senator Jackson. And now Senator Polk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, House Bill 1381, Legislative Operations. If you'll see, Senate action is suggested to be the same as LBR. So it does have a strike all. So if there are no questions, I move that we have title sufficient to pass, strike all.
Any questions on legislative operations? Senator Michelle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Polk, on lines 20, 21, and 22, the expense for salaries and expense allowances and mileage for members of the Mississippi House of Representatives is shown as $4,133,000. Is that assuming they will actually come to work, or will they be doing Zoom meetings this time next year as well?
That might be an answer that the Rules Committee needs to talk about, but it was $4,133,007.
But is that taking into consideration the normal per diem, or?
Zoom was not taken into consideration.
Thank you.
I think I'll answer on behalf of Senator Polk. Is anybody in here a member of the Rules Committee?
I know someone. But not for the House.
Yeah, I'm talking about our Rules Committee. Thank you for your service on that committee, Senator Michelle. We appreciate it. Any other questions on the legislative operations budget? If not, the motion from Senator Polk was title sufficient to pass, strike all. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Now 1391.
House Bill 1391. This is a reappropriation bill for DFA. for the buildings, Bureau buildings and repair and maintenance. I can go over each one of you, but it's about $66 million that needs to be reappropriated from previous years. If there are no questions, title sufficient, do pass.
Any questions on 1391? If not, the motion is title sufficient, do pass, strike all. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. And finally, 1410.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill, 1410 is the Public Employees Retirement System. The recommendation is the same as LBR at $18,754,581. There are no questions. I move title sufficient, do pass, strike all.
Any questions on the PERS bill? If not, the motion is title sufficient, do pass, strike all. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. That bill be reported. Finally, you should have in front of you a revised deficit bill, and I think you all know we've passed already a couple of deficit bills, and this is the House version of the bill, and we've incorporated a lot of the changes. I'm not going to go back through everything, but I will just hit a few high points on it. There are several Attorney General settlements. If you look in Section 1 of the bill, you will see all of the proposed settlements, and also this includes the wrongful incarceration settlements that we've discussed before. Section 2 of the bill is language that would allow for the Attorney General to pay out the attorneys that are hired to represent the state in various matters from July 1 through December 31 of this year. So this would put enough money in there for some of these pending lawsuits for them to be able to pay those attorneys, but obviously we'll have to come back in next year and see what the bills are. We may have to do a deficit appropriation for some of those, just like we've done this year for the cases that are pending and the fees that are outstanding. You see sections 3, 4, 5, and 6. We've got zeros in those, and as I've told you before, those deal with corrections. They deal with the medical expenses in the Department of Corrections, regional facility expenses, the local expenses in the private prisons. They're all zeroed right now because I know I want to work with my corrections subcommittee chair and the House members, and let's really drill down and fine tune on what that number is going to be that we need to get to on corrections to take care of those 4 areas. Section 7 are the capital expense funds that will be utilized to pay for the trooper school. Section 8 are special funds. We don't know what that number is going to be. I certainly want to look at what the latest federal stimulus package is and what it includes to see what, if anything, we need to put into the Veterans Affairs to take care of their operational expenses. That may change the number that we had earlier looked at on Veterans Affairs. Section 9 is, we've got that zeroed too, but it's capital expense funds that may need to be utilized to handle some contractual obligations of the Wireless Communications Commission. Section 10 is a large number on its face. It's all special funds. It's $20 million to the Department of Mental Health for infrastructure and continued operations, but $10 million of that is for substance abuse block grants, and there's some CARES funding and other federal matching funds that come into this. So this gives them some spending authority for operations infrastructure and for these programs they've got. Section 11 is $700,000 for ITS for providing support for state agencies. We've been over these before. 12, 13, 14, and 12, 13, and 14 are CARES funding that these agencies, Secretary of State, Department of Ag, and Department of Finance and Administration received, and this is to give them the spending authority to utilize those funds. Section 15 is Department of Revenue money, special funds also for their CARES money that we found out about for their agency operations. Section 16 is just shy of $200 million of spending authority for Medicaid, all special funds. Section 17 we mentioned before, and that's $15,000 of special funds to the Board of Animal Health. for spending authority for a non-federal grant received for disease control to purchase equipment. Section 18 is zeroed out right now, but that's funding for the medical licensure board that they've requested to be able to utilize some of their funds for agency operations. And then this does have a reverse repealer in it because this one still got work to do. This will be a late in the game decision on what actually has to be put in the final deficit bill to get approved. And I will yield for questions at this time. Any questions? Senator Turner Ford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I noticed that there are 2 line items in this bill for Curtis Flowers.
Yes.
One, it's line 59, and then for the fees for his attorney at 62. And my question is if there is to be any type of escalation of first of all, the amounts that are here are statutory, is that correct?
The amounts are statutory, and I spoke with the Attorney General about this last week and this weekend about this matter, and based on what the Attorney General has told me, the $50,000, like we do for other persons where the cases were dismissed, the $50,000 is to be paid per year of incarceration, and then the other $50,000 is for the attorney's fees. I looked at the language in the statute. I was not totally clear as to whether or not those would be paid and how they would be paid, but the Attorney General has told me that those are owed, or her office has told me that those funds are owed pursuant to the statute.
Is that a
And
one-time?
that's a one-time payment, yes.
And if there's to be any type of escalation, then that would require an amendment of another section of the code?
Escalation in what sense, Senator?
If the amount is statutory, as in it's $50,000 a year, if there's to be any increase, that would require the amendment of another code section?
Well, there wouldn't be, let me say, are we talking about the attorney's fees or the payment to Flowers?
No, sir, the payment to Flowers.
Yeah, the statute's clear that it's $50,000 per year for the number of years of incarceration, up to $500,000 total. And so you would have to amend a statute, a general law, to change that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Did somebody over here have their hand raised? No? Any other questions on the measure? If not, the motion is title sufficient, do pass, strike all. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. That bill will be reported, and I will entertain now a motion to rise and report. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you very much.